the causes of conflict, we say that we have causes like competition over resources, we have power struggle, we have social inequality, and we have ethnic or religious differences, we have ideological differences. Let's look at the consequences of conflict. The consequences of conflict. And this is where we're going to end our training today. All right. We are going to end our training on the consequences of conflict. You know, in every input, there is always an output. So if we give conflict, if conflict is the input, then the output is what we are going to look at it now. So whenever you fight, whenever you disagree, armed to engage in an act of war, then expect something negative as an outcome. Yes, we agree that conflict sometimes create positive changes, bring innovations, right? But not all conflicts. You understand? So let's look at some of the conflicts. Some of the consequences of conflict. Number one is humanitarian crisis. Humanitarian, all right? In Tehran, that is Syria. No, not Syria, that's Iran. Do you understand? In Syria, talk about it. In 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 in, in Beirut, we have them. We have camps there. Do you understand? That's in Lebanon. Do you understand? So we have this crisis, humanitarian crisis, in talk about in Ukraine, all right? We have crisis, humanitarian crisis, and this crisis not just affect people that are directly involved in war, affect the global in Russia and Ukraine. Do you know what is happening? It affects the global food supply chain. And what is happening? Hunger, the rise in inflation, food inflation. Do you understand? So this is affecting the global community. It's not just Russia and Ukraine. Humanitarian crisis, high cost of living, high cost of foodstuffs. We are experiencing what we call food insecurity as a result of the conflict between Russia and Ukraine. I get the point now. So these are the issues that we're talking about here. So humanitarian crisis. Look at what is happening. Some people are dying not because they are sick, but because they lack food to eat to survive. They lack quality health care. So what happened? They give up the ghost. Died prematurely. They had visions. They had dreams. But because there is conflict, they could not fulfill those dreams. They could not fulfill those visions. Some of them displaced and displaced forever. Humanitarian crisis as a result of what? Conflict. So conflict often leads to displacement of population, refugees, and internally displaced persons, creating humanitarian emergencies. Some of you here are working you are frontliners, you're working in the field, attending to people in need, like that. Some of you in this class, you're working in situations like that. Some of you are implementing intervention projects that has to do what I'm talking about here now. Humanitarian crisis. So please, whenever you want to, whenever there's a call for war, have a reflection of the consequences. Just envisage the consequences of your action. Whenever you are drumming war, whenever it comes to your mind that you should fight, you should create a situation whereby people will be displaced. Like this kind of terrorist attack, harassment, killings, and all of those things that are displacing people. Whenever that comes into your mind, because I know that people that does those things are heartless, that is one. But whenever you are in a situation to participate, directly or indirectly, then know that this is what you are trying to create, humanitarian crisis. And I can tell you for sure, there are some businesses that are thriving on account of this. So they want that to continue. I once came across a military officer that made a statement, and I cannot forget that statement. And it was a mere situation. And in that mere situation, that man, a military officer of the Nigerian army, made that statement in my presence, and I cannot forget it. And guess what he said? Co-members, that's youth co-members that were serving in a particular location. I don't want to mention the location. And then they went to the market. Well, thank God I was in the same car with them. I went to the same market, right? And we were coming back. They bought some food item. And while coming back, the driver did not arrange the food item very well. So they fell off while we were on the speed coming, and then they scattered and then wasted. All right? So driver did not give any apology. He was just claiming that it's not his fault and all of those stuff and all of that. So when we got to the destination, those co-members were demanding that their items should be replaced, or at least the driver should tender an apology for what has happened. The driver refused to tender apology. He was claiming his own right, and there was argument upon argument and upon argument. And so this military officer drove and passed by, being a local guy, that is because co-members are always strangers, of course. When you know that this person is a stranger in a particular land, do you understand? So he decided to pass and then stop and then came back. So in the course of trying to resolve this issue, he made a statement. He told the co-members to just forget about it and let go. But if they want to fight, they should go ahead and fight. For him, that is what he wants to, because wherever there is fight, they will send them to go there, and that is where he will eat. When there is peace, they don't eat. You don't hear him. So from that day, my mentality has been reset. When I look at the issue when Boko Haram is, we cannot, as Nigerian army is struggling to deal with the issue of Boko Haram, then I remember that man's statement. All right? When there are attacks on communities and nobody is arrested, then I remember that man's statement. Do you understand? Because that is where they eat. So as long as there's conflict, then other businesses are going to try. Other individuals also survive on these things. So they want it to continue. They want it to be perpetual. Because if they stop, businesses will stop. I can tell you categorically that I knew, and it has been categorically reported, that during the Boko Haram days in the Northeast, places like Bama, they used to produce fish. All right? Many places in Nigeria used to go to Bama to go and buy fish. The fishes we eat in the south, most of them came from Borno State. Do you understand? But during Boko Haram activities, during Boko Haram period, it was said categorically that it was some of our officers in the army that were harvesting those fishes and they were exporting them down to the south. They told the locals, don't go there. If you go there, anything happens to you, you're on your own. So you near any place where they are harvesting fishes and you die, they claim it as Boko Haram attacks. Do you understand? So these are some of the things that these things are, were going on like that. So when that man anytime I see things like this happening, no arrest, nothing happening, all this kidnapping, nothing is happening, you cannot even arrest anybody, you cannot even do anything. People are demanding for ransom and calling people using phone numbers, and nothing's being done. Then I remember that man's statement, and it still rings so loud in my head. Why these things are still perpetuating? Why are still continuing? Some people, they know than the benefit from these kidnappers. They kidnap and bring returns. I don't want to go much into it because it's what you also know. Besides, Abacha says it. If a terrorist activity lasts more than 24 hours, government is aware of it. So it's not me that I'm saying it so that nobody will come and say I said it. A former head of state, a general of the Nigerian army, once said it, that if a terrorist operation lasts more than 24 hours, government is aware of it. So that is the conclusion of the matter. Do you understand? So whatever I've said, this concludes the matter. So humanitarian crisis, that's number one. Number two, loss of lives and infrastructures. When the Boko Haram activities were going on in the Northeast, the level of destruction was so devastating. Not the destruction of infrastructures only, but the destruction of lives. Of recent, a community was killed, about 200 plus people were killed in the one community in one night. Boko Haram was bombing and killing people in mass. Do you understand? There was heavy. I school in Maiduguri. Personally, I school in Maiduguri. As of 2005, when we went to Maiduguri, 2425, I went to Maiduguri. Maiduguri was so peaceful. One of the peaceful states, like we can sometimes we are coming back from town midnight. We used to even go out for parties sometimes. No, I'm not a party type, but sometimes we organize some student stuff in town like that. Come back midnight. Do you understand? Nothing happens. But when we're about to finish around that time, 2008 and 2000, we begin to hear some of these things. By 2009, Maiduguri was a no-go area. It's not Maiduguri that we finished here yesterday, and then today we cannot even enter Maiduguri. I was in Maiduguri in 2009. I could not even step out on one occasion because the kind of bullets that were flying in the city like water, it was so alarming. Do you understand? So these are the issues. So loss of lives, infrastructure. And when they started initially, when Boko Haram started initially, they were not attacking people. They were not concerned with people. They were attacking government. I don't know what they had with the government, but they were attacking government institutions, government infrastructures. But when their leader was killed, they started taking lives. And they were taking it in droves. Do you understand? So that's why it is. So whenever there is conflict, the consequences are not just displacement, but loss of lives, destruction of infrastructures. Schools were destroyed, bridges were destroyed, so many things, so many facilities, even roads were destroyed. Telecommunication, some of them up to today, they are still struggling with the issue of telecommunication. Light, electricity, gone. Do you understand? So these are the issue. Economic impact. Nobody was coming there to do business again. Nobody was coming there to school again. Schooling was, as you are going to school, it's as if you are just taking yourself into the mouth of the lion. Let the lion just eat you up. Do you understand? So it was just, so economic impact was massive. Nobody was coming. Who wants to come and do business in Borno State at that time? Nobody. He said you say you want to go and die. And development was not going on. Nothing was going on because we're just trying to manage lives and ensure people's survival. That's all. Then we talk about social divisions, right? Conflict also causes and deepens societal divisions. The issue of mistrust, fear, animosity between different groups. You can see what happened in Rwanda. The Rwandan genocide that we're talking about today. It was so devastating. The issue of mistrust between the warring ethnic groups. In South Africa, the issue of appetite. In Nigeria, the issue of ethnic divisions. The various coup d'etats that we experience in Nigeria were as a result of tribal differences, not developmental differences. It was not even religious differences. It was merely tribal war. Do you understand? So these are the issue. Political instability. Conflicts can also, destabilize government and institutions, leading to governance challenges and prolonged instability. Government is distracted. Governance is being distracted as a result of political instability. You understand? So these are the issues altogether. So understanding these causes and consequences is crucial for developing strategies to prevent and mitigate conflict. And that's why you are here studying it today. So the truth of the matter is, okay, no volume. You cannot hear me. Those on YouTube, can you hear me? So now the truth of the matter is that if you have an understanding of these things and you have the privilege and opportunity, then you can be able to create a change. You can do something different because you know that when you do something that causes conflict, when you do something that breeds war, what happens is it affects development, it affects progress, it affects the welfare of the people. So do something that will promote peace, not something that will breed conflict and cause the destruction of lives and property. All right? So we're going to stop here today. All right? But I believe you have learned something today. You have learned something today, right? So we are going to continue tomorrow by 7 p.m. tomorrow. All right? And do wait to link to others to also register. Those that are yet to register but they want to be part of the training, you can do it to share the link to them, let them register. And of course, if you have any question, you can ask in the comment section. And for those of you that wants to be members of the institute, you want to become a member of the institute, our induction will be coming up in August, so you can apply to be part of that induction. We have adverts that are running on Facebook. You can just key into it and then become a member of the institute. You can become a member from wherever you are. All right, you're outside Nigeria, you can still join. We have members in UK, we have members in US. So do way to be part of our membership, and it will go a long way to help us. Dowes Tema, thank you very much. You are appreciating the training, and we thank you for taking time to be part of today's training as well. We have resumed. We have been doing this for more than a year now, and we have impacted more than 3,000 lives, and we hope to do more. And so far, you are connecting. will be here. All right. But we have made some adjustments more. We say for the students that did not join early, we say that this training will be held Tuesdays, that's Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturday. That's 5 days in the week. And Wednesdays and Sundays we will not be holding the training. So I think we should be able to get that so that we will not be having conflict. All right. All right. So thank you very much for taking time to be part of today's training. And somebody's talking about manual. Yes, we will give you a manual in due time, but we'll finish 1 week before we give you the manual. All right. After first week, we'll give you a manual. So for now, see you tomorrow by 7 p.m. as we continue with our training. Have a great evening. If you have any question, you can put it in our comment section. We will respond if there is none for now. Bye. See you tomorrow.